Need advice? Ask a bee. The answers may not be perfect, but they'll be entertaining. Submit your letters and let bee mind your business for a while.
Well, have you ever looked at somebody you love and thought, if I have to compete with one more piece of furniture, I'm going to lose my ever loving mind? Well, if you haven't, stick around because apparently that's where we're starting today. And before y'all start judging, I have a feeling this letter is going to hit a little closer to home than some folks are willing to admit. So let's get into it, all right?
This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV.
All right. Hey, y'all, welcome back to Ask a Bee, the place where real questions get bee honest answers, a little bit of wisdom, and a whole lot of laughter, and maybe a life lesson or two along the way. I'm your host, Boss B, and whether you've been part of the hive since day one or you just wandered in because YouTube dropped you off here, I'm so glad you're here. Grab something to drink, get comfortable, and let's spend a little time together. Around here, we laugh, we think, we support each other, and sometimes we take the scenic route getting there. But we always get there together. Now, remember, Ask a Bee isn't about having all the answers, it's about looking at life from a different angle, finding a little humor in the chaos, and you know what? Reminding ourselves that none of us are figuring this out alone. So, if you're ready, let's get into the letter today. But first, from our sponsor.
These scopes are brought to you by Earl's Skeeter Heater 3000. If it don't get rid of the mosquitoes, it'll definitely get rid of the neighbors.
All right, if that'll get rid of that neighbor, I mean, that's got to be the best. Okay, so our letter today, let's get into that one. I'm going to scoot on over like I always do. And here we go. Dear B, I cannot believe that I'm actually writing a letter because I'm jealous of a recliner. But my sister said if anybody would understand, it would be you. I just want to know who your sister is, please. Now, my husband and I have been married for almost 23 years, and somewhere along the way, I think I accidentally bought myself some competition. Goodness. A few years back, his back started bothering him, so for Father's Day, I surprised him with one of those big overstuffed recliners. Aren't you sweet? It wasn't even cheap. Of course it wasn't. I saved up for it because I wanted him to have somewhere comfortable to relax after work. Isn't that what we all do for our husbands, right? Well, congratulations to me because apparently I introduced him to the love of his life. Ruh-roh. He named the chair Bertha. Bertha. If you know anything about me, you know that's what I call our dear, beloved YouTube algorithm, Bertha. So, yeah, this is why I chose this letter anyway. Not as a joke either. Mine wasn't as a joke either. Never mind. Like, that's her name now. Every single day he comes home, tosses his keys on the counter, walks right past me, pats the armrest, and says, Daddy's home. What? B, he doesn't even say hello to me first anymore. If the dog's sleeping in Bertha, he moves the dog. If one of the grandkids is in Bertha, they have to move. If I happen to be sitting in Bertha because I made the mistake of thinking it was just another chair, he just stands there staring at me until I finally get up because apparently even I know better by now. Last week, he spilled chili all over the armrest, and I heard this grown man say, Oh no, I'm sorry, Bertha, while he was blotting the stain with the towel like he'd just injured a family member. Hmm. 3 days before that, I got 6 inches cut off my hair, and he didn't even notice until our daughter asked him if he liked it. Ooh, sir, you're in trouble. I swear, if I'd wrapped myself in brown upholstery, he'd probably tell me I look beautiful. Oh, honey, don't go that far. I know this sounds silly because even writing it down, I'm laughing a little. I'm doing my best not to. I don't want to offend, but I'm also not really laughing. There it is. We used to eat dinner together and then sit on the couch talking about our day. We'd watch a movie, argue over what to watch, make fun of commercials, whatever. Now dinner's over. He disappears into Bertha. The TV comes on, and unless the house catches on fire, I don't hear another complete sentence out of him until he's ready for bed. Wow. Wow. I think I'm supposed to be at the second page already, but here we go. I even tried sitting beside him one night, and he looked at me and asked if I was blocking the TV. I wanted to tell him, no, honey, I'm trying to remind you that you have a wife. That's what I'd have done. My friends think it's hilarious. My sister says I should buy my own recliner and name him Brad just to make him jealous. That's what I would do. Just saying. And my daughter keeps threatening to buy Bertha a Christmas stocking this year. Oh, well, at least you got your daughter on your side. The worst part is, I know he loves me. He's a good man. He'd do anything for me if I asked. That's why this whole thing is so ridiculous. I'm not worried he's leaving me for a chair. I just miss the guy who used to look for me first instead of the living room furniture. So tell me honestly, B, am I being dramatic, or should I start charging Bertha rent since she apparently gets more quality time with my husband than I do? Signed, Reclining Jealousy Face. Stick with resting bitch face, honey. It works much better. Anyway, that's our letter. I think it's time for another ad because they're just so much fun.
Boss B reacts because somebody has to supervise the internet, and apparently that somebody is B.
Oh my goodness. So what do we tell Miss Thing? Because this is something, okay? I don't think we all sit around and watch this stuff too often at all. Let's talk about this whole naming things business first after I scoot over like this. Honestly, I think men are born with some kind of certificate that says they're required to name random objects. Y'all notice that? Women don't usually walk around introducing people to our vacuum cleaner. Oh, this is Susan. She's a Dyson. We don't do that. But let a man buy literally anything with an engine, wheels, cup holders, or armrests, and suddenly it's got a first name, a backstory, and probably its own birthday. They'll say things like Old Betsy. Yeah, I'm probably dating myself on that one, but Old Betsy's been good to me. Sir, that's a lawnmower. It has one job. It cuts grass. It has never once asked you how your day was. It has never made you a sandwich. Huh, Walt? It has never remembered your anniversary, but somehow Betsy's part of the family now, right? Then they'll look at us like we're crazy because we bought another throw pillow. At least my pillow doesn't have a nickname and an emotional support relationship with me, right? Ladies, am I wrong? I swear men get attached to the strangest things. They got a favorite coffee mug they've been drinking out of since 1998. And if you accidentally put it in the dishwasher wrong, it's like you insulted their grandmother, okay? They'll have one ratty t-shirt with holes in both sleeves that says World's Best Bass Tournament 2003, and they'll fight you if you throw it away. God forbid they find it in the trash. Honey, that shirt has survived 3 presidents and 2 washing machines. Let it go. But no, that's my favorite shirt. Favorite? It looks like it lost a fight with a weed eater. And it probably did. You know it did. Please, come on, y'all. You know it did. Seriously. Uh, and mm, sorry, I am checking things, make sure they're working right, and they're just not working right. But men don't own grills, okay? They enter into lifelong committed relationships with grills. They'll stand outside for 6 hours babysitting a brisket like they're in the delivery room waiting on their first child, okay? Their first child. You ask if they need anything, and they say, shh, she's at temperature. She, she's a barbecue pit. Since when did charcoal become female? And smokers are even worse. They don't just smoke meat anymore. They commune with the smoke. They stare at thermometers like they're watching the stock market. Then they invite everybody over to eat and spend the entire meal asking, how's the bark? You taste the oak? Honey, I taste beef. At least I hope I'm tasting beef. And that's my dog back there. Skull Baby says that my recliner is my favorite happy place. Oh, let me bring this up here so I can see it. My favorite happy place because it massages and is heated and raises me up to get another beer if needed. See, now that is a Skull Baby kind of day, isn't it? Hi, Paul. Yeah. My dog hacking in the background. Sorry, y'all. Listen, that's what I taste. Beef. It's delicious. I mean, I would be a vegetarian if all my cow ate was grass because, yeah, I love my recliner because it massages. Yep, I saw that part. My favorite happy place because it massages and it's heated. I believe you. And you and your beer. So, it's delicious beef. Thank you. Now, sit down before your girlfriend, wife, whatever, gets cold. And I do mean the recliner. So, honestly, when you told me your husband's name, he named his recliner Bertha, wasn't shocked. I mean, I laughed about it because, like I said, that's what I call the algorithm for YouTube is Bertha. I was kind of disappointed in myself for not seeing it coming. Of course. Oh, I have to clarify. I see. I have to clarify so nobody will be confused as ED. Okay. Mr. Paul Baker has known me almost my entire life. And I mean personally, he knew me before I was even an adult, actually. So there we go. Anyway, let me get back to this, or I will never get back to this. So, like I was saying, I was disappointed in myself for not seeing it coming. Of course he did. The only thing that surprised me was the name, Bertha. That's such a solid name. That ain't some living chair from IKEA. Bertha sounds like a recliner that has watched every Super Bowl since Reagan was in office, right? Bertha has dents in all the right places. Bertha knows every football score from the last 20 years. Dallas Cowboys too. So there you go. Bertha probably smells like leather, chili, popcorn, and whatever lotion your husband puts on his elbows or really calloused hands because he's been working outside too long. She's seasoned. She's experienced. She's seen things. Probably smelt things too. I can almost hear the sound she makes when she reclines because every good recliner, okay, Paul, you know this, has that same old groan, like it's reminding you it's been carrying this family for decades. And here's what made me laugh the hardest. Nobody in that house questioned it. Think about that. One day, this grown man says, I'm going to call this chair Bertha. And everybody else just goes, well, Okay. That's marriage in a nutshell right there. You stop questioning weird things because you've already invested 23 years, right? You don't wake up one morning and say, you know what? This is insane. You just adapt. Pretty soon, you're telling visitors, don't sit there. They ask why. You catch yourself saying, that's Bertha. Like, that's all the explanation any reasonable human being should need. But somewhere along the way, insanity becomes family tradition. And I love that about families because every one of us has something like that, don't we? Come on. I got it too. It might not be a recliner. It might be a grandma's candy dish nobody's allowed to touch, even though the candy's older than the grandchildren. It might be grandpa's pocket knife that's been missing since 1987, but somehow everybody still knows where it isn't. It might be mom's sewing scissors or mine, wherever they went, that absolutely cannot be used on wrapping paper unless you're looking to shorten your life expectancy. Facts. Every family has those unwritten rules. You know, they don't make sense to outsiders. But inside that house, or you know what, they probably make sense to friends because they've been around long enough, right, Paul? But inside that house, they're law, right? Bertha just happens to be one of those laws. The funny part is, like when my mom passed away and we moved in here and moved things around and stuff, she has one of those chairs you're talking about there, Paul. This one, it lifts. And, well, my husband has taken it over, and that's okay too. That's his chair now. That's what she left him. That's the way we see it, and that's okay. So I don't think anybody in this family is actually laughing at the chair anymore because it has sentimental value somewhere there too. I mean, you did buy it for Father's Day, for freak's sake. They're laughing because they know all too well exactly who dad is, right? Exactly what he's going to do when he walks through that front door, and exactly how the evening is going to play out. There's something funny about predictable people, okay? Until one day you realize predictable has quietly turned into unavailable. And that's where your letter starts changing on me, okay? Seriously. Oh, what you got there, Paul? Mine does, and now my two granddaughters are the only ones who are allowed to sit in my chair when I'm not in it. That's the same in this house. When my granddaughter is here, she is the only one allowed there. And if Peepaw doesn't sit down with her, then it's a totally different situation. Guess what? We're going to have us another little ad because I need to reset. Be right back.
Volcano tea, because sometimes the earth has feelings and sometimes those feelings involve lava. Stay tuned for today's geological gossip.
And let me just say, I have now 10 live streams, all volcanoes. Most of them are going off right now. Y'all get over there and check it out. Now, let's get into the next part of this. So the chair every family had is what I'm going to call this segment. Now, I don't know how old some of y'all are, okay? I know how old you are, Paul. But I think every generation had the chair, not a chair, the chair. There was always one. It wasn't the nicest piece of furniture in the house. It wasn't the newest. And Lord knows, it didn't match anything after about 10 years. But somehow that chair became the throne. Dad's chair, Grandpa's chair, Peepaw's chair. You know better than anybody not to touch it. Nobody had to make a rule. It was a given. You just knew. It was like there was an invisible force field, right? Around that seat would be taken except that one, right? Somebody new would walk in and say, well, there's an empty chair, and everybody else would yell at the exact same time, don't sit there. They'd look around wondering what they did wrong. Honey, you almost committed a felony. You don't sit in that chair. That chair belongs to a man who's been gone for 6 hours, but somehow still owns that spot. You'd rather sit cross legged on the hardwood floor and what? Crap. Sorry. Stupid computer. And risk getting caught in dad's chair, right? 5 minutes before he got home from work. That would be the worst thing, because every dad had that look. They'd walk in, throw the keys on the counter, whatever it was. There you go. Don't tell no one. I'm young enough to still keep trying to outlive my age. Amen, sir. Thank you. And I will definitely borrow that one. But, they throw their keys on the counter, look straight at the chair. And if somebody was sitting there, oh, they'd never even have to raise their voice. They'd just stand there, maybe put their head a little clear their throat. That was enough, right? My grandfather did that. I know my dad does it. Whoever was in the chair would jump up so fast, they'd leave a body-shaped dent in the cushion. I'm sorry. Didn't matter. No. You were trespassing is what you were doing. Yeah. And what killed me was Dad would sit down in that chair like he'd just conquered territory. That wasn't furniture anymore. That was real estate. Pardon me. Still talk too much, don't I? Okay. So that beachfront property at this point, right? That's the Oval Office, the sacred ground. Then there was the recliner itself. Why do recliners always sound like they're giving birth when they lean back? I'm just curious. Anybody, just curious. The one that we have now, it squeals like a pig. I swear to God. Every single one of them makes some weird noise. Every time. It didn't matter if it cost $200 or $2,000. They all sound like an old pirate ship docking at the harbor. And every dad reclined exactly the same way. They never eased back. Oh, hell no. They'd grab both armrests, grunt for absolutely no reason, shove backwards with their legs, and wham, full recline. Then came the sigh. You know the sigh. Come on, Paul, I bet you've had it too. Just like they had just completed a 17-hour shift digging out railroad tunnels with a spoon or something, right? And most of them did. I mean, give them props. But it didn't matter if they actually had been fishing all day or working in a coal mine. They earned that sigh. Then came the remote, right? The remote was somehow always exactly where they left it. I don't know how. Nobody else in the house could ever find the remote. We'd tear the couch apart looking for it. Dad walks in, reaches between the cushions without looking, and there it is. Like the chair itself is hiding it for him. And it probably was. Paul, does yours? I bet it does. They had an understanding, him and Bertha, right? The chair protected the remote. The remote protected the chair. Yeah. It was a beautiful little toxic relationship. And don't let somebody else adjust that recliner. Oh my God. If you moved the footrest one little notch too far, they'd notice before they even sat down. Who's been in my chair? Excuse me. Are you a detective now? CSI living room. How'd you figure that out? Okay. The footrest ain't right. Really? You can tell the difference between notch 3 and notch 4? Apparently you can. They knew every squeak, every spring, every worn spot in that chair. They'd say things like, watch that arm. She's loose. She's loose. There it is again. They always made the chair sound like she was recovering from surgery. You got to ease her down. Ease who down, sir? It's vinyl and plywood. Okay? It's not an elderly aunt, but in their minds, that chair had personality. That chair had history. That chair had hair. Through football games, naps, surgeries, holidays, grandbabies climbing all over it, dogs stealing the seat the second dad got up to pee. That chair had seen marriages, arguments, Christmas mornings, tornado warnings, and probably a couple of secretly crying people after everybody else went to bed. Funny thing is, furniture really does become part of the family if it stays around long enough. It really does. That's why I laughed when you said his chair had a name, right? Because honestly, mine would have probably had one too if it survived 30 years. Yeah. What you got there, Paul? They take on personality of the person who sits in them the most. Know you better than your closest family members do. Amen to that, sir. I believe that wholeheartedly because I know where I sit. I have 2 places I sit in this house, and both of them, I guarantee you, they look just like my butt. So there's the difference is there's a line between loving your chair because it's comfortable and making your wife feel like she's competing with upholstery. That's where I stopped laughing for just a second because one of those is funny family story, okay? And the other one starts sounding a little bit lonely. So while I reset again, because that's what I do here goes another one.
Southern Solar Gossip, bringing you space weather, solar storms, and front porch opinions from people with absolutely no authority to give them.
I just love playing with AI. Aren't my ads just adorable as fork? That was the word I was looking for. Real quick. Now, here is where my brain completely went and lost me, okay? Please stop. Why are you messing with me? Okay, now. Y'all know mine don't stay on the highway very long, my brain. Okay. ADHD. I started wondering, what if Bertha could talk? Oh, don't look at me like I'm the weird one. Your husband already named the chair. I'm just giving her dialogue now. I think Bertha would be tired. I think Bertha has seen entirely too much Fanny. I think Bertha would have stories that get the whole family grounded. She's sitting over there thinking, Lord, here he comes again. She knows exactly what time he's getting off work. She hears those keys jingling before anybody else, just like a faithful old dog, She's probably over there stretching her springs. All right, girls, places, everybody. He's coming. Dog jumps down. I'm sure that spring knocked him. Cat gets off the armrest. Dusts it off on the way. Blanket gets folded back over all by itself. Remote slides into position because that's how it goes. It's a whole production. That chair knows the routine better than the wife does because the chair never leaves the room, right? She has front row seats to every single episode of this man's life. She knows every football game he's yelled at, and is going to yell at. Every nap he's taken, sandwich crumb he's dropped down between the cushions that he'll never find because I'm always cleaning them up. Every to shake the ceiling fan in every room. I wasn't sleeping, sir. We all heard you arguing with the chainsaw in your dream. You are absolutely asleep. Bertha knows the truth anyway. She's the keeper of secrets. I'm glad that mine doesn't cause some secrets. Oh, that are better not said. True. Facts. Where the missing she knows why one side squeaks louder than the other. About $17 in quarters that one person can find, and it's not the one that sits in it. 3 pocket knives, 4 pens. You know what? That don't work. A flashlight with dead batteries and enough potato chip crumbs to bread a chicken with until I get in there and clean it again. You know, I'm right, because every recliner, every single one, eventually becomes a storage unit. You don't lose things in a recliner. You make deposits. Then 6 months later, you find enough money to buy lunch and act like you won the lottery. Look, honey, that wasn't found money, okay? That was your savings account. And don't even pretend people don't form habits with their chairs, because they absolutely do. Every single person sits down exactly the same way every single time. One leg first, one little wiggle, push back, grab the blanket, reach for the remote, adjust the pillow. Same order every day. It's like watching somebody perform a ritual. I bet if somebody secretly moved that recliner 6 inches to the left, your husband would walk into the room and stop dead in his tracks. Something ain't right. They can sense it, you know. Men can't find the ketchup that's directly in front of them in the refrigerator, but they'll notice it if their recliner moved half an inch while they were at work. Explain that science to me. Please. Please. Anybody. You ask them to find the mayonnaise and suddenly they're legally blind. I don't see it. It's on the second shelf. Nope. You walk over there, point with one finger to the second shelf, and there it is. But let somebody vacuum and accidentally angle Bertha towards the window instead of the TV. Suddenly Sherlock Holmes is in the building. Who moved my chair? How do you know? I can tell. Can you? You couldn't tell your wife got 6 inches cut off her hair last week, but you can tell Bertha rotated 3 degrees clockwise? That's the gift God gave you. That's where the superpowers went. Right? No. Then I got to thinking about that poor Bertha, you know. Bertha has actually survived. Think about it. Okay, think about everything an old recliner goes through. Kids use it like a jungle gym. Dog thinks it's their bed. The second the owner gets up, you know, scratching, turning circles. Grandbabies jump off the back of it like they're auditioning for the Olympics, really. Somebody spills chili on it. Somebody falls asleep with ice cream. Somebody wipes barbecue sauce on the side because they think nobody will notice. I noticed. Somebody got greasy hair, you know. Somebody's wearing sunscreen, covered in sawdust. Usually that's me, but I don't sit in that chair. So, you know, that chair has been through more trauma than half of the people watching this show. And we got a whole 1 million people watching. Listen, not facts. It's still standing there doing its job. Honestly, if furniture got retirement benefits, Bertha would have been sitting on a beach 20 years ago with a tiny umbrella drink saying, y'all figure it out yourselves. Instead, she's still clocking in every evening to hold up the same men who insist He doesn't need a new chair because this one's just broke in. Broke in. Honey, that thing isn't broke in anymore. It's memorized your butt. They fit together like a puzzle piece now. If somebody else sits there, they're uncomfortable because the chair is literally shaped like your husband. That's not furniture anymore. That's a mold. Sorry. I didn't say it was full of mold. I just said it's mold of his behind. Scientists could reconstruct the man from that cushion alone. Okay. And that's exactly why I understand why he loves the chair. I really do. Now, what I don't understand, oh, okay, what is going on with my internet today? That's where Bertha quits being funny and starts, I guess, accidentally becoming the other woman. Okay? She never, ever, not once, asked for that job.
This segment is sponsored by Vitar. Predicting poor decisions before they happen since this morning. Vitar, the future looks questionable.
It looks questionable for your husband, that's for sure. All right, the remote, okay, is the real other woman. Can I just put it there? You know what finally hit actually the favorite we want the story is between your husband and that remote control. Oh yeah, facts. Bertha's just where the affair happens. The remote is the one he's committed to. Men have a relationship with the TV remote that psychologists probably ought to study. You know, they holds his scepter sometimes. They don't watch television, okay? They supervise it. Click, click, click. They can watch 47 channels in 30 seconds and somehow tell you there ain't nothing on. Really? Because you didn't actually watch any of it. You just drove by every show like you were looking at neighborhoods you couldn't afford. Okay? You never stopped anywhere long enough to know if anything was on. It's like opening the refrigerator every 5 minutes, hoping somebody stocked it while you're standing there. And why do they always stop on the exact same movies? And let me ask, okay, John Wayne movies, to be specific. Every man in America has seen John Wayne movies, or like Tombstone, about 400 times. But if it's on again, well, now we got to finish it. Doesn't matter if it was halfway through. Doesn't matter if you've got the DVD. Doesn't matter if it's streaming in 12 different places in 50 different languages. No, it's on cable with commercials. Guess we're watching it. I have Fandango and I got that one. Yes, that one's in there. Not once has it ever been put up on his television unless I did it. Why? You know, okay, same with like Shawshank Redemption. Okay, come on. Same with Smokey and the Bandit, although I've probably watched that one a billion times. And yes, it's on Fandango because you know I love me some Burt Reynolds. I mean, come on, who doesn't? Right? Oh, I seen one the other day too in the parking lot at the grocery store. And I almost asked that man if I could hand him a feather and I could have his car so we could both be tickled. Anyway, same with every Western Clint Eastwood. Okay, it says 6 words and squints for 2 hours. They have all these streaming services, every movie ever made at their fingertips. But if Jaws comes on at 2 o'clock on Tuesday with 17 commercial breaks, leave it there. Leave it there. You own it. We could watch it without commercials. You can fast forward through these commercials. Leave it. Why are you like this? And sports, oh God, Lord help me, don't get me on this one. I'm going to do it though. Men don't just watch sports, they become assistant coaches. You know that's true. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes when a good Cowboy game's going really good, I might get into it too. But they're yelling at millionaires through a television like somebody's going to hear them. Run the ball. Honey, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is waiting on your input from the recliner in Louisville, right? He's probably got a plan. But no, every play deserves commentary. And yes, I know Patrick Mahomes is not a Cowboy. I used him because we all know his name. All right. All right. Dak Prescott has that one. Cool. Gotcha. We need a new coach is what we need. Anyway, every plan deserves commentary, or every play, pardon me. Every referee needs glasses. Every coach is suddenly an idiot. I would have called a timeout. Well, that's wonderful, boo. But also, burned toast this morning. So maybe Andy Reid's got this one covered. Look, they'll get so worked up, their whole body leaves the chair. Except their backside. Pardon me. Blech, I can't talk now. Arms flying everywhere, feet kicking, drinks almost spilling, sometimes going ahead and spilling. They lean so hard, I think the recliner's going to file a workers' comp claim. I'm serious. Then the team loses, and suddenly the whole evening's ruined. Honey, they don't know you. Oh, they're not coming over later to apologize. They don't even know you yelled yourself hoarse defending them. Okay. Meanwhile, the wife has been sitting 3 feet away, waiting to tell you something important for the last 45 minutes. Honey, hold on. Honey, hold on. Honey, commercial's almost over. And before you know it, the conversation never happened because the game came first. Then football season ends and you think, finally, we're getting our husband back. No. Here comes baseball. Then basketball. Of course, there's NASCAR. Hey, it's another left turn and I'm all for it. Then golf. Then fishing shows. Because he won't take me fishing no more. Let me tell you something about fishing shows. Okay? Because I am so tired of seeing this catch and release stuff. Boy, take that home. It's tasty. All right? Listen, let me tell you something about fishing shows because I have questions. How do grown men watch other grown men fish for fun? They're sitting in a chair watching a man sitting in a boat waiting for another fish to make a bad decision. That's entertainment? By that logic, I ought to start a channel where y'all watch me wait for my dryer to finish. Oh, look, she's down to 12 minutes. And somehow they'll sit there for 3 hours watching somebody catch 6 fish and call it a productive Saturday. I'm back. Meanwhile, if their wife wants to watch one Hallmark movie, not this wife, they're suddenly experts in cinema, right? They're all the same. Oh, really? Says the man who watched 17 hours of people making left turns around a racetrack. Okay, 3 hours is the normal. 3 hours in a race, right? Every one of those cars looks the same to me, but I keep that to myself because I enjoy living indoors. Now, Don't get me started on volume. Why is it that the television has to be loud enough for the neighbors to know who scored? You walk in trying to have a conversation and you're competing with explosions, race cars, football commentators, and y'all, who doesn't miss Madden, right? Anyway, commercial yelling about arthritis medication. Look, honey, can I ask you something? What? Can I ask? Hold on. That's the answer every wife has heard at least 1,000 times. Hold on. Hold on after this play. Hold on. Oh my gosh, y'all. That's why I just decided if there's a game on, I'm going to sit down and yell at the TV too. Why not? Can't beat them, join them, right? And eventually you quit asking because you already know what's coming, right? That's the part of this letter that we read that made me stop laughing, not because of Bertha, the chair, because of the remote. Well, maybe not the remote either. Okay, but the football. Definitely not. Somewhere in the middle of all those little hold-ons, somebody started feeling like, oh, hold on. Really? Somebody started feeling like, they came. My computer's doing weird things. Give me just 1 second. You know what? Forget it. We're going to have another ad. How's that? We already did BTAR. Let's just do this one again.
You're watching BBTV, home of Coffee with B, Ask a Bee, BTAR, Boss B Reacts, and more. Only on BBTV.
All right, y'all. Look, my point is that's the way it be sometimes, and that's okay because 23 years in marriage, I mean, they must have been doing something right. Right? Kind of sounds like it to me. But let me tell you something, y'all. 4 years here. Just do it. Don't fight about it. Have a good life. A recliner. I'm still in awe on this one, you guys. I am still in awe on this one. All right, that is definitely my time today. Few things I'd like to get out there before I buzz on out of here. Let me give y'all the flight plan. Most Wednesday nights, okay, you'll find me right here for Ask a Bee. I've been gone for a while. I'm trying to make this back up. But no question is too big or too small here or too weird. But on the first Wednesday of every month, I team up with my sweet and bestest friend, Mama Davina Lyons, for Ladies Diary. So first Wednesday of the month is Ladies Diary. Every Wednesday after that is Ask a Bee, where we laugh, we cry, we encourage each other, and sometimes we all need a tissue and a snack. So if you don't see Ask a Bee one Wednesday, don't worry. We're just having a girls' night, and you're welcome to join us for sure. That is, if you don't mind having a girls' night. But so I am going to close this up with the norm that I am starting now. Before we go, I want to leave you with the B rules because we have those now. Because I want y'all to know that I'm not here to beat somebody up. I'm just here to have a good time, just like the rest of you. So I'm going to leave you with these right here. If you don't remember anything else from today's show, I hope you'll remember these. So, rule number 1, I'll always be honest. If I think you're wrong, I'll tell you. If I think you're right, I'll tell you that too. Rule number 2, I'll always be fair. I'm only hearing one side of the story, so I'll answer the letter that's in front of me, not the one I have to imagine. Okay? Rule number 3, I'll always answer because I care. Not to judge you, not to embarrass you, not to win an argument, but because sometimes the truth is the kindest thing that we can give each other. Those are the B rules. They're never going to change. And you know what? I'm okay with that. So, before we get out of here, I got YouTuber pardon me, Tuber Chat that I'm going back to. I love you guys. Y'all take care. Thanks for being here with me. And listen, more shows to come. All of the above. I'll see you soon.
I want to take a minute to shout out Tuber Chat. If you're a creator who's tired of surface level advice, and actually wants to understand how YouTube works, that's the space. It's real conversations with real creators who are in the trenches building channels, testing ideas. No posturing, no gatekeeping, no fake guru energy, just people sharing what's working, what isn't, and why. If you're serious about growing, learning, and not doing this alone, check out Tuber Chat. The link is in the description.
Boss be right.